Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name is Exile and welcome to Minecraft A Beginner's Guide. This is the fourth episode in our series of snapshots, and today we're going to look at passive or friendly mobs that you'll encounter in your world. As you can see behind me, I've made some little holding pins and I've got a bunch of eggs in my inventory. So with that being said, let's get started. Okay, so if we look up here, the first one we're going to spawn in is the polar bear. Polar bears only spawn in snowy or icy biomes, so they're pretty rare to find. Let's pop one in here. Oops. And I spawned it into the wall, so yeah, it's mad. That didn't work so great. But anyway, if I had managed to spawn it in the middle of the floor, you'll see that it is passive. And when it dies, it drops a raw fish, which I have signified by this little fish here. Let's get another one in there. There we go. And we'll just push it back a little. Yes. Okay, there. The textures don't connect, but that is a fix that is coming, so that'll be awesome. But when you're out in the world exploring, these guys will not attack you unless you attack them first, or if they have a cub. If there is a baby bear with them, don't get too close, because they can run really fast and they will try and eat you if you get too close to their cub. So just a word of warning. And anytime you kill any mob, which we'll go through, you'll always get experience points, or what we call XP. Now XP is vital when it comes to some things we'll be doing later on that I will explain in the Let's Play series that will be starting here very soon. But XP we use for enchanting our tools and our armor to make them a lot better than just the standard stuff that we craft. So remember, XP is a good thing. And if you die, you lose your XP. So keep that in mind while you're out there in your world. But anyway, that's it for the polar bear. Now, next one we have is the bat. And I have this dark glass here because bats only survive in a dark environment. So I gotta hurry and spawn in this bat and then throw a piece of glass in here so it doesn't die. And then we can see it. These do absolutely nothing but fly around in dark caves, and they have no purpose other than hang upside down and look cool. Again, if you were to kill this, all you would get is a couple of balls of XP. Okay, the next one is the squid. This one I gotta kind of fly up here and drop him in. Maybe he'll go down. There we go. Now he's trapped in there. And you can see him swimming around here. These are completely passive. They will never attack or anything. You'll find them in deep oceans, in rivers. You can even find them in some of your farms when you put water in them if it's at sea level. And it's getting dark. Hang on a second. There we go. Just so we have enough light. If you're to kill one of these guys in the wild, you'll receive an ink sac. These you can use to dye glass, like this, or to dye carpet, wool, just to change the color up. And there's all sorts of dyes that we'll get into in the Let's Play. But that's the only thing these guys drop other than experience. Alright, moving on. Next one is the cow. Now this line that we'll be going through are things that are very helpful to you when we get going. So there we go. There is the cow. The cow, if you have an empty bucket, you can get a bucket of milk, which is used in crafting recipes for food. You get raw steak, which is the best food that you can have in the game. Once you cook it up, it becomes steak, but right now it's raw beef. But steak is the best food for restoring your hunger in the game. And you also get leather, which is used in a lot of crafting recipes, so it's very useful. You can breed two animals, so if we throw another cow in here, there we go, just knock him in there with the other. If we have two cows, we can use wheat and breed them together and get a baby cow. So we can have a self-sustained food source once we have two cows. We can breed them every 4.5 minutes, I believe, is the time allotment on beef now. But you breed two of them together, you get a cow, you wait a little while, you can breed them again and get another one. Then you have four, you can breed two pairs and get two calves. So you can see you can build a really good food source by just having a couple of cows. Okay, and also when you kill them, not only do you get the steak and the leather, but you also get experience. Okay, the next animal is a variation of the cow, and this freak is called a mushroom. They spawn only on mushroom islands, which is the rarest of all the biomes that you'll encounter in your world. And these guys, I have a lot of things that are really useful about them. For instance, instead of milking it like the cow to get milk, we get a wooden bowl and milk it, and we get mushroom stew. Very good food source. We can take shears and shear the cow and harvest the red mushrooms that are growing on it as another food source. Or we can kill it, and just like the cow over there, we can get steak and leather. And just like the cow, we can breed two mushrooms together with wheat and get baby mushrooms. Alright, next up, the chicken. Hey, turn around here. We'll spawn two in there, why not? There he is. Derpy looking critters. But anyway, we breed two chickens with seeds to get the baby chicken. And when chickens are happy, they'll lay eggs naturally. Now, the eggs can be used in crafting recipes, or you can actually take the eggs, throw them by hitting your right mouse button, and they'll break against a solid surface or the ground, and you have a slight chance of a baby chicken hatching when you do that. So chickens are the easiest mob to start a food farm with in the game, and when you kill them, you get the experience. Like I mentioned, you get raw chicken and you get feathers, another useful ingredient in crafting recipes. So super handy. If you tune into the Let's Play, we will be having a chicken farm. Okay, sheep. There we go. Plain old white sheep. Now, you can breed two sheep with wheat to get another sheep. You can use the shears like on the mushroom over here, and you can harvest its wool. Now, in order for the wool to grow back, the sheep has to have grass to graze on. You'll actually see it eat the grass block, and then eventually the grass will grow back, but it has to have grass for the wool to regenerate. Now, if we kill the sheep, we receive mutton and wool and experience points. Okay? With the sheep, also, you can take like the ink sac we got from the squid and dye this sheep black. That way all the wool that you harvest from the sheep, it won't be white, it will be black. You can do that with every color in the game to dye your sheep different colors, or you can harvest the wool and dye the wool separately, which is usually what I do. But if you just want to have a whole herd of blue sheep because your build's using tons of blue carpet, you can have blue sheep. Alright, and the next round here, we got the pig. The pig is not really useful. You know, with all of our other mobs we've looked at, we get leather or feathers or wool, all this good stuff. The pig only drops XP and pork chops. Pork chops are the second best food source in the game. So if you're wanting a really good food source that will benefit you greatly down the road, where you're not having to eat a lot all the time, pigs are a pretty good option. And you have options. You can breed pigs with either carrots or beets, either one. So there's a couple different crops that you can grow to breed these guys. So there is some flexibility in that. Okay, give me 1 second here. Now that we've gone through all these, I gotta get the next set here. Alright, next up, the money. My daughter's favorite mob in the whole game. They're pretty stinking cute too. But rabbits have different patterns different colors depending on the area that they spawn in. This world that I built this display in is a desert world, so they spawn sandy. In plains biomes, you might find black and white rabbits. There's brown rabbits. There's white rabbits in the snowy regions where the polar bear spawns. But these little guys come in all sorts of different colors, and they are pretty fun to raise. You can breed them with carrots or dandelions. Now, that being said, to tame them so you can actually breed them, let me back up for just a second. All these animals will follow you if you have crops. You can lead them wherever. These guys here you have to tame by giving them dandelions. They won't run away from you, but they'll follow you. So that's very important to know, and we'll get into a lot more of that when we in our Let's Play, because we'll have a rabbit farm. Rabbits, when you kill them, have an opportunity for 3 drops. You get raw rabbit meat that there are a couple different food recipes for. You can get rabbit hide, which 4 of these will make 1 piece of leather like we get off the cow. So if we put 4 of those in a crafting table, we can craft regular leather and use it in the recipes that require leather. And then you can also get a lucky rabbit's foot. These are used in potions to make you quicker in the game. So that is the rabbit. Alright, next up, and I spawned him into the wall. Okay, this is the horse. They always look angry, no matter what color they are. They come in various colors, just like the rabbit. Yeah. Unfortunately, I spawned him into the wall. But there's a baby. Okay, we can tame horses by finding them in the wild and sitting on them. They will buck you off, just like a regular horse would in real life, until they are tamed. So sometimes it takes a while, other times it can be pretty quick. But once they're tamed, you can put a saddle on them and you have a mode of transportation that's quicker than walking. Okay, you can breed them. They eat wheat just like the cows and the sheep to breed. So 2 horses, breed them together and you'll get a colt just like that. And you saw, if they die, they drop XP and leather. Okay, next up is the donkey. Oh, we got another baby one. These guys can be tamed. They are a lot slower than the horse, but you can ride them. And much of them is the same as the horse. You breed them with wheat. If they die, they drop leather. Okay. Now, if you breed the horse and the donkey together, you again into the wall. It's my kind of luck today. You can get a mule. Mules, when you tame them, they can carry chests. Let's see if we can get one here without it. That one's in the wall. There you go. He walked out. You can put chests on these, and they are a pack animal. So if you're going exploring a ways away from your base, oh, it's dark again. There we go. Don't need a bunch of mobs and stuff spawning in here. It'd be bad. As you can see, they're already spawning out there. But that's in the next video, so no peeking. Okay, but the mule, if you're going out exploring, you know, as we discussed in our earlier video, you only have a certain amount of space, and you might be wanting to collect a lot of resources that aren't around where you built your base. So a good mule is handy because he can carry more on him than you can carry in your inventory. And again, they drop leather. The next mob, I'll just be honest, I can't stand this thing. But that's me. There he is. That's a llama. They are the derpiest critters that Minecraft has introduced into the game. You can tame them. You can have a train of llamas, which can carry a chest like the mule, and have multiple items of storage. They breed the same as the other larger mammals like the horse, the donkey, the mule, with wheat. They do drop leather, and if you like them, you can make colored saddles and all sorts of things to dress them up, make them look cool if you want, but you won't see me doing it, I'll just be honest. Alright, next up. These mobs, when we find them, they're really good to have, but it takes a little bit of work for these guys. This is a wolf. Okay, when you find a wolf in the wild, they're like this, they're passive. But if I hit him, and I was in, by accident, and I was in a survival setting, his eyes would turn red and he would want to eat me, along with every other wolf in the area. So, if there is a pack of wolves like this, there's 3 wolves in the wild, and we're cutting down a tree and we accidentally hit him, all 3 of these wolves, their eyes will turn red and they will try and eat you. It makes for a bad day. A really bad day. Now, for these guys, they have a really useful purpose, and I did not grab it, so I have got to... I grabbed a steak instead of a bone. Now, we can see he ended up, when I gave him the bone, and see he wants another one, he's cocking his head like my little dog, he gets a collar on him. The collar can be dyed different colors, so if we have more than one, and see this one took a little bit. He took about 5 bones to tame, and that's the way it'll be in your world. It takes different amounts to tame them. Once they are tamed, they are your bodyguards basically. If anything attacks you, they will attack them. Okay, so when you find a wolf, don't hit him, tame him, and you have a loyal companion. Okay, now once they're tamed, you can give them each raw meat like steak, and they'll breed and you'll get puppies, like it says here. See, tame the wolf by giving it bones, and then you can breed the dogs with raw meat and you'll have puppies and increase the size of your bodyguard count. Super useful. Next up is probably the hardest animal to obtain in the game. This is an ocelot. They spawn only in jungles, and to tame them, you got to give them fish. See, this guy, he wants it. He's checking us out. Now, if we are to give the fish to the ocelot, it takes quite a while. It can take up to 10 to 15 fish to tame one ocelot. They will tame into a regular cat. And there's a couple different patterns or fur patterns that the cats will have. One will look like a Siamese, and the other one is like a tuxedo cat, I believe is what they're called, black and white tabby. But yeah, eventually these guys tame, and what they do is they chase off certain hostile mobs. These mobs will not come around you as long as you have a cat. So they can be guards for your base to keep them from different mobs from spawning in your world. Okay, so let's get rid of all of this. Ah, sorry. You can put pumpkins on your head, as you can see. These are villagers. Okay, in your world, you will find villages that occur naturally, and they are populated by these cats with the big nose. Okay, each one of these coats represents a different profession that each villager has. Now, when you find these guys, you can trade with them. So if I walk up to this guy with the black apron, and I do a right click on my mouse, it opens up a trading inventory menu. So he wants 23 pieces of coal for an emerald. And then with emeralds, see, this is an enchanted tool. Efficiency 2, it means it digs dirt and sand faster than just a regular tool. And we'll get into all the enchantments when we get into our Let's Play world, but this is a good example. So you can trade for emeralds, and then you can trade the emeralds for tools. Okay, and there's another black robe villager that is a weaponsmith. This one's a toolsmith, the other one's a weaponsmith, where you can get swords and that sort of thing from him. The next one, this is a Fletcher. So he likes string and he'll trade for arrows. This is not a good trade. I usually don't trade with Fletchers unless I have string, because that's about the only thing that's worthwhile in their trades. Other brown coats include the farmer. The farmer is one of the best villagers to trade with, because in your world you're going to be growing crops, and you can trade them to this guy for emeralds. Get some really big quantities of emeralds that we can trade with this white robe down here. But before we get there, you have these guys in kind of a white schmuck. They are butchers. They trade raw meats or cooked meats for emeralds and vice versa. They'll ask for emeralds for different meats. This guy in the purple is called a cleric. They'll take some of the weird stuff that you may accumulate, like rotten flesh from killing zombies, for emeralds, or take your gold for emeralds. They have some decent trades, but not a lot. This guy here in the green robe, he is technically called a nitwit. Okay, nitwits are good for nothing. They have no trades. They just take up space. So if you get a village full of nitwits, you're not going to have very many options like these guys offer here. Okay, and last but not least, the white coat is a librarian. He trades paper, which is an easy resource to manufacture, but he also, and this was not planned, but this guy is offering the best book in the game, mending. Each librarian will have 3 different books that they can trade, and as we trade, say, paper, or we get mending books, it'll unlock more trades and more. Each villager has several tiers of trades that you have to work up through, but this book is the best one in the game. If we put this book on our sword, for instance, every time we kill a mob like we discussed over here, or a zombie, they all drop XP, and that XP repairs your tools, because as you use them, they lose durability, and they become, they'll get to a point where they'll break, and you are completely out of that tool, and you'll have to craft a new one, and it's a pain. But if you, especially if you put some good enchantments on it and you really like the sword, it really does a great job. If you get a mending book, that sword will last forever in Minecraft terms. The very last 2 mobs we're going to look at are mobs that you create. This guy, we use iron blocks, and I didn't make this quite big enough for him, but this is an iron golem. They protect the villagers, so they are kind of hostile. You know what, maybe... Nope, it wasn't the rook that was getting him, it's just too small in there. These guys will attack you if you hit a villager. They do tons of damage, and they're hard to kill. But we can actually make farms for these guys, and we will do that for sure in the Let's Play. And when you kill them, they drop bars of iron and poppies. Every now and again, you'll actually see an iron golem with a poppy in its hand. It's extremely rare, but it's pretty cool at the same time. See, that one just died, and as you can see, it looks like he dropped 4 iron bars and 1 poppy. So that's what you can expect. So building farms to get these naturally is such a huge advantage in your game. So, and we will be building them. The other one is a snowman, or snow golem. You take snow, I'm gonna have to break this, throw a pumpkin on him, and because we're not in a snowy biome, they die pretty much instantly. But in snowy biomes, or in caves where there's no sunlight, these guys can survive. I'll throw another one together here. They will throw snowballs at zombies and skeletons, etc., in defense of themselves. Pretty fun. Pretty fun mob to have around. Have a couple of them standing guard and Rarely will they ever kill a skeleton or a zombie, but it's fun to watch. And if you were to kill it, you would receive snowballs. But that covers all the passive mobs that you'll encounter in your game. Some are super useful for food sources, like all of these guys. Some are super useful for protection, for trading, and some are just there to give you something different to look at in your world. But that's all the time I have for today's episode. If you enjoyed the video and found it helpful, please like and subscribe. If you have questions or comments, leave them below and I'll do my best to answer each one of them. But until next time, this is Exile, and I'm out.